Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you, and today we're going to be taking our first look at some Mushkin memory. And many of you will probably remember that I've been quite the champion of Mushkin memory over the years. I use it in most of my bench rigs, or I did at one point, and yeah, I've always highly regarded them as a really good performance brand. But today we're going to be taking a look at one of their flagship memory configs, or packs, whatever you want to call it. This is a 16GB 2133 kit, and it's quad channel, and it's 9, 11, 10, 28 in speed. Comes with a new Mushkin packaging as well. Before it used to come in like a clear blister pack, but we've got this new pack now. And what I'm going to do is I've actually, for the first time ever, actually got, and I say actually a lot at the moment, a tool ready to be able to open it, which is amazing that I actually thought that far ahead. I'm going to have to go careful because people are going to start thinking I'm a professional or something. So that we've got the first box, or the new box rather, and then inside we've got the standard old blister packs. Now before, you would have had a cardboard insert in the back of this blister pack, and they did dual and triple configs with roughly the same sort of design, but they've got the new box around the outside as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this out, take one stick out so that we can have a good look. Now, as you can see, yes, it has got a green PCB. That's one of the things that we've grown to accept with Mushkin RAM. Hopefully at some point they will move over to the black PCBs that we all keep asking for. But the heat spreader design is actually a three-piece design. If you have a look at the end there, you can see that you've got the two side bits and then you've got the top fins. Now one of the things that I really like about the Mushkin RAM is this will fit under your D14. It actually fits under the actual heatsink itself. So once you've bolted it on, if it overhangs the memory slots, Mushkin will fit underneath. Fits underneath quite a large selection of the heat sinks as well, because it's not actually that big. If I get Mr. Strawberry to hand me a ruler quickly, I'll be able to measure it for you exactly. But it's one of the shorter sets around. Now from the top to the actual fins, so the gold fingers on the memory, it's 45mm. So it is one of the shorter sets of memory. Now Mushkin are well renowned for making some really not only sexy looking memory, but also really good performing memory as well. And I actually really like this kind of V design on the top, because when it's in your rig, especially when you've got a few of them in there, it does look really, really nice. Now RAM doesn't really get very hot at all, not unless you're overvolting it and overclocking it like absolute billy-o, which, to be perfectly honest with you, none of us really do, because when you push stuff that hard, it tends to get unstable. It's just for like, well, record runs and stuff. So you don't really need a massive heatsink, and this is the perfect mix of style, aesthetics, and still being able to keep your memory cool. But yeah, I really do like the look of this. If it had a black PCB, it would up the ante on it that little bit more, and I think it would be a perfect kind of contrast to the red. But they're still using green, so they're still using green. And like I said before, the timings for 2133 are 9, 11, 10, 28 at 1.65 volts. But what we're going to do now is we're going to get this in the system. I'll give you a look around the system as well before we start testing, and then we'll do some testing, and then right at the very end we'll do a conclusion, and I will let you know how it performs compared to other memory, and what I think of it. Right then guys, this is just a quick look at the memory in the test rig. As you can see, we're using the Rampage 4 Extreme, which is my new test motherboard, with a 3960X processor, Corsair H100 cooling, with Noctua direct flow, or focus flow I should say, fans. Got 7970 there. Keep wanting to call that a 6970, but yeah, we've got 7970 there. As you can see, the Mushkin RAM really does look the part in there. Previously I've had some Corsair GTX 8 in there, which is only red on the top, And I have to say that the all red of the Mushkin really does work well with the theme of this rig. If I move the camera in a bit more, if I can get in any closer, go up a bit, you can see that the black and red, as you would see it in your window, really does look quite good. Yeah, I'm quite surprised how good they do look in this, actually. But then again, the Redline Ridgeback always has been a favourite of mine. If you have a look though, because of the way that the ram sticks are laid out, the arrows point up on this side and down on the other. And yeah, I don't know, I really like the look of it. We pop the camera, change the camera angle again, so that you can see it that way. Yeah, I really like that. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to do some basic testing, and then we'll wrap up and do a big conclusion at the end. Right then, peeps, on to the testing. What we're going to do is we're going to run some tests, and we're going to flick between the Corsair memory and the Mushkin memory. Now the Corsair memory, what we're doing is we're running it at 2133, but at its rated latencies, which is 10, 12, 10, 27, and then we're going to be running the Mushkin at its rated latencies, which is 9, 11, 10, 28, but they're both going to be run at 2133. So the Corsair is slightly slacker on a couple of the timers, but then again the Mushkin has got a 28 at the end, so there is going to be a slight difference. But the only reason we can't run the Corsair at 2400 is my CPU won't hold it there. So just, you know, going to kind of give you those kind of things but to go by. But this is the first of the runs. This is the Corsair memory, and it's IDA 64 Extreme Edition, and this is the read test. And you can see the score there is 21,206. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on quickly and then look at the Mushkin tests. Right then, peeps, moving on to the Mushkin tests. The result is 21,483, so that's just slightly up from the Corsair test from before. What we're going to do is move back to the Corsair again and do the memory write tests. Right then, peeps, back to the Corsair, and this is the write test. You can see the yellow box there is the result, and that's 17,815. But we're going to jump on quickly and take a look at the Mushkin results. Right then, guys, we're on to the Mushkin now, and this the result for the write test is 17,760. So the reads, it was quicker than the Corsair, but the writes, it's actually just slightly behind. But what we're going to do now is move back to the Corsair, and we will have a look at the memory copy results. Right then, peeps, on to the copy results, and this is the Corsair memory again, and we have a result of 19,230 for this one, but we'll move swiftly on and see how that compares with the Mushkin results. Right then, guys, on to the Mushkin copy tests, and that gives us a result of 19,758. So it now pulls back in front of the Corsair memory again, roughly 500 points in front on this one. What we're going to do now is move on quickly, and we will do some W prime results. Right then, guys, I forgot that we needed to do the latency test, so we will move on to W prime in a second. But this is the Corsair memory latency test, and we have a score of 45.0 nanoseconds. But we'll move swiftly on to the Mushkin result. Okay then, guys, Mushkin latency result is 43.8 nanoseconds. So that just shows us that ever so slightly difference in the timing at the beginning has made a little bit of a difference on the results, but the final timing on the memory hasn't really made any negative impact at all. I'll talk about this more in the conclusion though, because I'm going to end up waffling now. So let's move on finally, or eventually, to the W prime results. Okay then guys, on to the W prime result for Corsair. We have a 32 million score of 4.664 seconds. And then for the 1024 million, we have a total score of 125.776 seconds. But we'll rattle on quickly to Mushkin and then compare the results. Right then guys, onto the Mushkin, and we have a 32 million place of 4.5881 seconds, which puts it about a tenth of a second in front of the Corsair. But then on the 1024 million, it's 125.929, which is about 2/10 of a second behind the Corsair. So slightly different results there, but it's good to see nonetheless. What we're going to do now is just move on quickly to the good old FutureMark results. Right then guys, on to PC Mark Vantage. We've got a total score of 11,615, but if you have a look at the memory score there, that's a memory score of 9956. So we'll now go off and compare that with the Mushkin results. Okay then guys, on to the Mushkin PC Mark Vantage results. We've got a total score of 12,065, 12065. That's up about 400 points from the Corsair. And then on the memory score itself, we've got a result of 9959, so 9,959, which is 3 points up from the Corsair. So not really a lot on the actual memory side of it altogether. Still slightly up nonetheless. Now we're going to move on and compare the results for PC Mark 7. Right then peeps, on to PC Mark 7 with the Corsair score. We have a total score of 3811 and a productivity score of 2449. I'm not going to read them all out to you, but you can see them there should you want to see them. We're going to move swiftly on to the Mushkin score. Right then peeps, on to PC Mark 7 for the Mushkin. We have a total score of 3744, that's down from 3811, and then a productivity score of 2419, that's down from 2449. So on this benchmark at least, the Mushkin does fall ever so slightly behind the Corsair results. Right then guys, on to the conclusion for the Redline Quad channel. So award first, we're going to give it a solid gold as well. One thing I will say right from the very beginning of this, the memory sticks are available for $113.99 at Aria, and I'll put the link underneath. What we need to remember though is you do get 4 sticks. It is a 16GB memory kit as well, and obviously it all goes in with the quad channel. And we've got to remember that it's 2133 speed as well, so it's not no 1333 or 1600 megahertz kit. It's a fast kit with good timings, and there's 4 sticks of it as well. And look, let's face it, it looks the absolute gonads. And that's kind of something that I've grown to love about the Mushkin stuff, is it does just look the part. When you see it in the rig, as you saw earlier, where the quad channel stuff, they have one of the memory sticks one way and one the other way. The fact that you've got the points poking in different directions, I actually really like the look of that. But it's not all about aesthetics with the Mushkin stuff, because it works really well as well. I mean, we put it up against the Corsair stuff, and it is the first kind of memory kit that we've done on our new bench rig. And all we did with the Corsair is we left it at its rated timers, which was 10, 12, 10, 27, and just dropped it down from 2400, which is its rated speed, to 2133, because our CPU, the memory controller on it doesn't hold 2400 memory. And then with the Mushkin, we were running it at 9, 11, 10, 28, which is its rated speed. So it was ever so slightly tighter times than the Corsair. But the thing was, is I've tried them both the opposite way. So Corsair slightly tighter and the Mushkin slightly looser, and the results were pretty much exactly the same, because with Sandy Bridge and Sandy Bridge E, it's more about bandwidth than the latencies. And the Mushkin only really fell back in a couple of tests. Obviously, that's, do you know what I mean? It favoured the Corsair ever so slightly on a couple of tests, but for the most part, the Mushkin was well in front of the Corsair kit, and that's not to say that the Corsair kit's a bad one. It's just that that kit's built for blazing, you know, lots more bandwidth. But for the price, I mean, let's, you know, put it into kind of figures that you'll understand. That GTX 8 kit is a $500 memory kit, and you have to apply for it. I was lucky to have the fact that I even got asked if I wanted it. This Mushkin stuff is absolute bargain, and the fact that it's trading blows with something like that. But yeah, I've always have been a fan of the Mushkin kit. And like I said, it looks good. The benchmarks kind of talk for themselves, really. 90% of the results, it was in front. It's well priced. The backup service with them, like if you do get any problems, is epic. It's just an absolute stonking good kit, to the point where, not being funny, this would be the type of memory kit that if I was having to buy kit for my own system, this would be the top of my my wish list, and it would be heavily something that I'd be considering. So, like I said, if you're in the UK, area stock Mushkin, in the States and stuff like that, I'm sure Google will pick it up for you, rather than me looking around for prices and everything like that. But I think Mushkin do have a point at their website where they can sell direct to you as well. Well worth it. If you're running like the Rampage 4 Extreme, then it's an absolute no-brainer, to be perfectly honest with you. But where it is a quad kit, don't think that you can't use this kit on something like a Maximus 4 Extreme as well. You've got 4 slots on there. You can just use this and populate all 4 of the slots on one of your Sandy Bridge rigs as well. So it's not just for a 2011 system. You can run this, and like I said, run all 4 slots on your normal Sandy Bridge 1155 boards as well. To be perfectly honest with you, you could use this on an AMD rig as well, as long as your CPU, because that's where the problem lies, as long as your CPU will be able to go up to 2133, and very few of them really do. Bulldozer would be a good one. If you are running Bulldozer, then I have had Bulldozers running 2300, 2133 memory in the past. But I'm going to cut this off now. A thoroughly well-deserved gold award for the Redline Ridgeback Quad Channel 2133 kit. I really do like this. It's been a long time since I've done a memory kit, and it was just like, back with some Mushkin. It's brilliant. So yes, thoroughly well-deserved Mushkin. Looking forward to doing some more kit of yours in the not too distant future. I've just glanced across and seen a solid state drive there, which you can expect a video of very soon. But yes, this is Tiny Tom Logan with the gold award-winning Mushkin. I've said it so many times, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yeah, the gold award-winning Mushkin quad kit out.